emotionally abusive and toxic because oh okay. I mean, G mentioned fix your face.
Hey, sweet mates. How you guys doing? Well, we watched Malcolm and Marie. It's going to be a long one, sweet mates. I don't know how you guys felt about it. Comment below. Let us know what you thought.
Okay. So, what did y'all think about the movie?
Starting with the story.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's interesting that it was all captured in only one night, and
in black and white.
It was.
I it I like the black and whiteness of without the tension and everything. The storyline was good in the sense of the way it progressed from beginning to the end.
I think it's crazy how he dated so many addicts. I really want to know, like, what does that say about him? Because yes, you're dating addicts, but why? That really had me confused.
I
But
think it was
Mhm.
okay.
No, go ahead.
I thought so. I said the same thing. Um, I did agree that he was a narcissist, but
He was.
the addict thing, I felt like that first chick he was with, who died,
Mhm.
probably was the reason why he continued to date addicts to try to save them, since he couldn't save her.
Mm.
Probably was like, I messed up. Let me find another chick, save her. But I think he only did it because he low key had no personality or no spice to his life. Like she mentioned, him being privileged. His parents had high position jobs and where he lived and his education. So it was like, what are you going to write about?
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like he couldn't write about just being a black man in America because you're not the average black man in America since you've been privileged. So it was like, I'm gonna stick with this chick, clean her up because this
I
is
need
gonna be
a
my story.
story. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it provides martyr syndrome, so he feel like he's the savior.
Mm-hmm.
He's her savior.
Can you
And
explain that syndrome a little bit more for those who
you
don't
know,
understand?
kind of some people they want to feel like they saved somebody and you're only here because I helped you. So now you're forever indebted to me.
And
You
he
can't go
definitely.
nowhere. You can't go anywhere and you you can't say nothing, you can't do nothing cuz guess what? If I didn't save you, you wouldn't even be here.
Mm-hmm. And
And I think
throughout,
his mindset,
throughout the movie,
yeah.
he really made it seem that way. Because whenever she would make a point, he would be like, "But who was there for you when you were overdosing or whatever?"
Story, to me, based on the way they described their relationship, it sounded like they both didn't know how to argue and they both were emotionally abusive to one another. Because if you're an addict, there's no way that you the whole time she was just so meek and following
Mm-hmm.
him around. There was a point in their
Mm-hmm.
relationship where the roles were reversed. And I think once he saw that she was better, it's like, oh no, I'm not going to let you forget all the bad stuff you did to me. And I
Like
feel
Stevie J.
exactly. And I feel like this night was a point in their relationship where it was like, oh no, we talking about it all. Like we put
Yeah.
everything on the table. Like
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, went
Five
undressed.
years of a relationship in one night, I think that's what it captured.
Yeah.
But did y'all think it was crazy that she's an addict and he was drinking all night? Like, who has all that alcohol around an addict?
I thought he had mental issues as well. The outbursts were a bit much.
And
The constant
arguing while eating macaroni and cheese, child.
First of
If you
all,
ever
he
argue
said,
with me with food in your mouth that I made, I don't know what I do, but it ain't gonna be no talking.
but
Are
she
you
said,
crazy?
I'm making you mac and cheese, but it looked like crafts though.
It
It
I
was.
was
was.
thinking, girl,
It
you're black.
literally
We don't make no
was.
craft.
It was
It was
crazy.
because at one point she said something like, This macaroni tastes good. I want some more macaroni. I should be sponsored by Kraft Macaroni.
Oh yeah, it was. She was talking to. Yeah.
That's when I knew she was mad, when she made him Kraft and not homemade mac and cheese. I was like, oh, she mad. And I
Well, it
don't
looked
know.
like that's what he wanted. He was like, "Is it ready?"
He
Boom,
tore it up.
water. Like,
Because he was drunk.
when he
Anything good when you drunk.
He
He
came
tore that
home.
mac and cheese up.
He came home on 10. Like it wasn't like you came home, started drinking, and you just a lightweight, and after the first drink, you already. He came
knew
home. So
that she was going home to some Kraft Macaroni. That's what he wanted. He was like, "Yeah, get the Kraft."
I didn't like
I'm
that.
sorry,
Like
that part cracked me up.
she just got sober. And that, like, why would the production company, and that's another part of the disrespect. You know she's sober, but yet when the production company gave you a house to stay in, you didn't say, oh, we need a dry house, like no alcohol. She's like, you didn't even have to say she was recovering. But to me, that was disrespectful. There was temptations all over for her.
All over. So when she disappeared at one point, I was like, this girl is doing drugs.
No, it was one point where someone sniffled, but it sounded like a whole snort. And I was just like I heard I don't want to do that on camera,
Hey,
but yeah, I thought like she was in the bathroom snorting at one point, and I was just like, oh man, like where she found drugs at. But I feel like all that extraness, like that very first argument in the beginning, would have ended everything if he would have just said, I forgot to say thank you, and I should have said thank you.
That's all she wanted, and it was her story. Like, what do you mean?
Because yeah, that's how. Okay, I feel like her syndrome, if there's one out there for it, was, yeah, I went through all this. You was there for me, but my story made you who you are right now.
Yep.
Because
So like,
he
where am
said
I
nothing
gonna
ain't
go?
pop off until you wrote a story about me in the first
Exactly.
place.
So it's like, one, you didn't put me in there. 2, you ain't use my name. 3, you ain't say thank you. Where am I gonna go? What? I ain't going. I'm not going. You know, I feel like that was her mindset. Like, but I thought afterwards, if he would have said thank you, would that have been a reason for her to leave him? Because I feel like everything was just like, her life seemed like it started from the drugs and on. Like she makes it seem like she did not have a life or know who she was prior to being an addict. If that makes sense.
She was 20. That's
Yeah,
a
she
really
was
young
20.
age.
Young time.
And then
Yeah,
I was thinking,
like,
how old was he? Like, it made me think about a lot about their relationship, because it was a lot deeper than just that one argument.
And I really wanted to know, like, why didn't he cast her? Like, and then he said, "Oh, no, that was some good act." He was petty after she went in and acted it out, and he was like, "Why didn't you do that in the audition?" But I think he could have, because he knows she's a good actress, so he could have just been like, "Go in, like this role is yours, go in." But he didn't. He wasn't supporting her or fighting for her in like the production rooms. You could tell that.
but she didn't even audition. Like, it's not like
It's
she
her
auditioned.
story though. He should have been like, give it to her.
But then he would, like she said, he would have to share the spotlight. Then it wouldn't be, oh, you wrote a great story, because right now he wrote a great story. But if she acted it, it would be like, wow, you made it through all of that. Oh my gosh. No wonder this is so good. You know?
I don't know. That was a sticky point for me. I think he should have gave her credit and thanked her, of course. Like, everybody wants appreciation in a relationship. But when it comes to mixing the business with it, it becomes a bit much.
Okay.
Well, he been mixed the business. He wrote a story on her life.
But I could write a story about y'all life and not cast y'all. Like he said, there's a point of he was there too.
No,
But you're not our boyfriend.
She's an actress. We're not. So it would be like, I'm getting actresses to play y'all, but she's an actual actress, so why not cast her?
Like she wasn't an actress who
Actively?
would bring some
Oh,
people in. At the end of the day, it's about making money.
yeah, true. That's
And
true.
then I feel like she was only an actress because she didn't want to go back to modeling. Like that's where all the drugs and all the interest came from. So it was like, but I want to still be in the industry, so I'm gonna act.
Yeah.
My
I don't
favorite
know.
line was when she said, "I did not ask." Like when he kind of said, "Oh, I didn't cheat on you. I did not ask."
Yeah.
I was like, "Ooh, I felt that." If I didn't ask a question, don't tell me extra details. I don't want to know.
Yeah. Yeah.
My favorite part was the part where she did the acting and she had the knife and she pulled out the theatrics and she was like, "That's how it could have been. Now what?
I thought she
Now
snapped
what?"
when I was
Uh-huh.
watching. I was like, "Oh, she snapped," but then I was like,
Yeah. Hmm.
But listen, the bantering that was going on, it was really triggering. Like I was like, oh my gosh, why? Like I just don't like all that. And they don't know how to argue, like we said earlier, because if I'm arguing, it's gonna be going back and forth. It's not gonna be, let me sit here. What do I want to say?
but
And
I
then
think
come back. No, no, no. I'm gonna give it to you right then and there if I can.
see, but I think that's where they were all undercutting and stabbing each other because it's like, and if you notice, I feel like she had to think for a longer time because the fact that he saved her, he knows more about her and all her dirt than she did about him. Because remember when he was like, the story's not just about you that walk, that's this ex.
Mhm.
What you call it?
That
Or when he
was
mentioned that what I said at
wrong.
the hospital, my father. She didn't know none of that because she was like, your father was in the hospital? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I feel like the sitting and waiting for him was I'm gonna hurt her feelings. Maybe I shouldn't. Nope, I'm gonna hurt her feelings. She wanna go there. Let me show her I can go there. Especially when he was like, I'll like you don't want this with me. Like you don't want this smoke. You're a twig, I can break you.
I
Mm-hmm.
also think they like to argue like that. And I
They
know
do.
people don't like to promote toxic relationships on social media, but I feel like some people are into that and they just would rather pretend that they're not. Because
Yep.
each time that they had a major argument, he cried a little bit and they were kissing. Like
Yep.
it seemed like a turn on for them.
Yep.
So
That's some weird stuff. But
everyone has a kink.
what Miss C just said when he was like, "Don't you know you're a twig? I can break you." I was thinking, like, does he not know that that's Casey undercover? Like, she will shoot you.
You know what was funny to me? He was looking for his phone and his wallet, and she was like, "Did you check here? Did you check there?" And he was like, "Of course I checked, whatever." But when he found it, all of a
He
sudden
didn't
it's not
say.
important. Why? Because it was in one of the places that she told him to check.
Yeah, right.
But
Girl,
Overall, would you guys rewatch this movie or no? Because that's a no for
no.
me.
one was one time too much, low key, but it was a good movie because they acted it really well. Like they portrayed the parts they were supposed to play.
Yeah, I'm not
Love
watching it.
the setup, like you said, the black and white. I love that. I love even though the monologues were a bit much. I loved that they had a lot of monologues. I like that too.
Mm-hmm. Same.
Mhm.
It was correct for what they were trying to illustrate.
And the soundtrack was fire.
Oh,
It
The
that
soundtrack.
yeah.
every time they did a song to try to really get a stab at each other, I was like, this song is right though.
Yeah.
Well, those are our thoughts, sweet mates. Hopefully you liked the movie. If you didn't, let us know. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys next time. Bye.
Remember, you don't have to go, but the couch is mine. See you later.